We got a lot to cover ahead of us and we are going to move on with speed. Now let's go into it. First of all, we have covered the whole view and the assessment expectation, and key areas had been highlighted, and we had dealt with some aspects of key areas like we've mentioned the role of John and how to go about it as part of the area that will be tested. Now we are moving on. But before we move on, these key areas had been looked at. John's responsibility, and also we had covered a bit of the operational and strategic business units. I hope you were with us as at that time. We've been able to cover this rather, and equally dealt with this aspect. So we are going to move on to other aspects that has not been dealt with, which is this. Presumably, these aspects will be coming out, including the financial analysis and reporting, which we've not dealt with. So without wasting our time, we move on to where we stopped. So we want to talk about sustainability practices now, which is an aspect of the question that may arrive. But let us build momentum back. We had earlier looked at this, and for the advantage of those that are just joining us, we just snapshots on it. Operational and strategic business units, and how John can go about ensuring that business units proposals actually align. We had spoken that it needs to carry out the review of the proposal, ensure they align with company's objective, look at the financial analysis, the risk analysis, cost benefits of the project's sustainability assessment it should carry out, operational and resources consideration in form of allocation and constraints should be looked at, market and competitive analysis should be done. It should create some scenario for the project so that we can decide. You should make a recommendation document and report it, and obtain feedback from respective authorities. So we had earlier dealt with that, and now we want to move directly to the business of the day, talking about sustainability practices as his responsibility. Should there be a question that asks about sustainability? Don't forget last time that we were discussing it yesterday, let us know that even though it's a subject, sustainability is an aspect of our work that many of us are new to, or some of us do not like, but it has come to stay. So question may be around it now, especially looking at the aspects of the country in which we have flood taking place now, we have fire burning, we have buildings collapsing and the like. These are aspects of sustainability that we are talking about. We still have a lot of pages of printouts as against soft copy. Is an aspect that could be tested. Having said that, what will be John's responsibility and some of the reply rather that you can give to the examiner? Assessment of sustainability practice or practices. John needs to look at the strategic business units, which we call SBU, and how they've been performing. What have they done or accomplished during the year under review? Then it should collect data and report about it is part of its responsibility. Another responsibility as it relates to sustainability practices, just joining us, will be asking, who is John? John is the control executive in the question that we are previewing, and the preceding question, the Adalat company. So John must gather information, process it, and report. He must deal with the compliance and standard. He must ensure that the SBUs, and when I say SBUs now, please know that we are talking about the strategic business units, are complying with relevant regulation as it relates to sustainability accounting, and also the standards. There are a lot of new standards that are coming up now which may not be relevant to the discussion for now. Then identification of areas for improvement in their performance, the SBUs, managers, directors, and the like. He should make recommendation to based on his knowledge to enhance sustainability practices in Adalat. He should engage stakeholders. Stakeholders engagement should be carried out. He needs to go out sometime. You need to do some survey and the like. I know I'm saying a lot of things at the same time because we want to squeeze as much as possible within our limited time. He should report, he should monitor the progress after the reports that he has given. Let's say he reports now, next year he should monitor the progress of the SBUs, strategic business units. Then he can benchmark best practices. That is, some organizations among or within Adalas industry, we can benchmark our performance against them to know whether we are doing well as Adalat or not. It's part of his job responsibility. Also, you could give answer to the question in form of integration of corporate objective. Corporate objective must be the aim and the focus that must drive our sustainability practices. You would not have such. John should propose one. Then he should report to the board through his financial controller. Now, this is another seemingly question. How does the company address sustainability issues in its business operations? So if you are asked a question like this, it is important for you to know that there are tips already in the presentation. Adalat already had a sustainability strategy already. So if there's a question that said, how does the company address sustainability issues in its operations? There are policies on ground now, and you need to mention them. Environmental stewardship also, you should mention them because Adalat now has some energy consumption and waste management policies within its business operations. Also, sustainable sourcing, that is making everything that's a component